Good morning, first grade friends. It's me, Mrs. Smalley, and I'm coming to you on Monday morning, all ready to introduce you and excited to introduce you to two of my favorite characters. These characters' names are Iris and Walter. And there are several books like Zelda and Ivy. There are several books written about Iris and Walter. I'm going to read you the first story, and it's about how they met. And one of the first things that a reader does when they read a book is they take a sneak peek. They want to figure out what this book might be about, what the characters could be like, what problems they might encounter. So let's do that. Let's take a sneak peek. And as I'm looking at this story, Iris and Walter, I'm noticing this treehouse. And in the treehouse is a little boy and a girl. I'm assuming that's Walter and that's Iris. So it makes me wonder, is this where they hang out? What is this? Is this where they met? Let's see if we can find out more. By the way, this is a story that has a writer and an illustrator. The writer is Alyssa Hayden Guest, and the illustrator in this story is Christine Devonier. So on the back of a book, the author writes a blurb to let the reader know what the book might be about. Here's what this says. Iris hates her new neighborhood in the country. It's boring and there's no one to play with. Then, on a walk with Grandpa, she discovers a huge tree with a secret hideaway and maybe a new friend. Ooh, now I go back to here and I'm thinking this might be the secret hideaway and this might be the new friend she discovers. Let's see if there are any other clues as I open this story. Well, there's a suitcase, which makes me think she's moving. Look at this page right here. If you're looking at Iris, I can see that she has a very sad look on her face. And as I look at Iris, I'm thinking she must be in the blue zone, just like the color of her fishbowl water. She must be really sad. Can you make a connection to that? Is there a time when there was a change in your life that made you sad or put you in the blue zone? If you remember, a couple weeks ago, I told you about how I went into the blue zone because I was teaching from home. And then I told you all the things that happened that brought me back to the green zone. I'm wondering if we're going to learn what happens to our friend Iris to help get her back to that green zone. Let's see. Oh, look at this. There is a table of contents in this book, and a table of contents is super important because it's going to tell us what's going to happen or an idea of what's going to happen in each chapter. This book says chapter 1, moving, chapter 2, cheer up, chapter 3, a walk and a talk, and chapter 4, a new life. And it looks like Iris is sitting on her front step of her, looks like a city apartment or a city house. And her suitcase is there and her fish. She looks pretty sad to move. Let's read and find out. Moving. There she is, looking out her window. It says, when Iris and Iris's family moved from the big city to the country, Iris was sad. What do you think she might be sad about? I believe this is going to tell us. She missed her noisy street. She missed her wide front stoop. She missed playing baseball after supper until it was too dark to see the ball. Iris missed the long hallway where she roller skated on rainy days. And at night, she missed tango music from apartment 3B. She missed, oops, sorry. She missed the whoosh of the bus doors opening and closing. She missed the rumble tumble of the subway under the ground. Iris missed her old life. Iris missed her old life in the big city. Country life doesn't have all those things, does it? So she's pretty sad. If I had to make a connection to her, I would say I can relate because I was really sad when I had to start teaching from home. I missed my class. I missed hearing all the talk at recess. I missed our morning meetings. I missed all sorts of things. I missed my hugs in the morning. I missed our fun math games. There's just a lot that I missed, just like Iris is missing life in the city. But something's going to change. Chapter 2 is called Cheer Up. I'm wondering who is going to help cheer her up. Her mom looks pretty happy. Iris doesn't. Cheer up, my Iris, said Iris's mother. We're in the country now. Why don't you run around and do a cartwheel in the grass? But Iris did not want to run around. Iris did not want to do a cartwheel in the grass. Looks like her mom wanted to help her out. So Iris's mother ran around. Iris's mother did a cartwheel in the grass. That is pretty silly, isn't it? Talk about fun, said Iris's mother. Said Iris. I notice her face. If you look at her eyes over here, she still looks very sad, doesn't she? Cheer up, my Iris, said Iris's father. We're in the country now. Why don't you play monkeys and swing from the tall trees? That's a good idea. She doesn't look like she wants to do that, though, does she? But Iris did not want to play monkeys. Iris did not want to swing from the tall trees. Whew, she does not look happy. I feel sad for her. So Iris's father played monkeys. Iris's father swung from the tall trees. Talk about fun, said Iris's father. Said Iris. It's so funny and silly that her parents are doing silly things. They're trying to make her laugh, aren't they? Iris, my girl, said Grandpa. Iris hoped he would not say cheer up. He did not. Grandpa said, let's you and I go for a walk. Iris smiled, and off they went. So that is the end of chapter 2. I wonder what's going to happen in chapter 3, a walk and a talk. Is Grandpa going to be able to help Iris cheer up? I sure hope so. I know for me, one way that I got out of the blue zone was talking to all of you and connecting through Zoom and all the different ways we're trying to connect. So we'll read the rest tomorrow. Have a good night.